Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to St James's Park for the final time this season. Newcastle just 3 points away, one win away from a return to the Champions League. Look at that pitch behind me. Absolutely incredible condition. Luscious green pitch. So good. Ahead of the visit of Everton today. Newcastle know what they need to do. They just need to beat Everton at home here, take care of their own business, and they will play Champions League football next season. You're not relying on favours from Man United or Chelsea or Forest or Fulham. Win here today against Everton and you'll be back at Europe's top table next season. What a situation that is. Eddie Howe would have snapped your hand off for that before the start of the season. In fact, I spoke to Dan Byrne on Friday and he said those exact words. What a situation we've put ourselves in, and you should do it. Look, if you perform the way you have in many of the big games this season, you should be able to take care of an Everton side whose season is already finished. Yes, Everton have won their last two, but we were just chatting there about the games that Newcastle have won here at home this season. You've beaten Arsenal twice here, you've beaten Chelsea twice here, you've beaten Man United, you've beaten Spurs, you took 4 off Man United, you drew Man City, you drew with Liverpool, you beat Aston Villa. You know, all the big games you've turned up in. It's the smaller matches against the likes of Bournemouth, Fulham, Brighton, West Ham that you've slipped up on, but this has the makings of a big game today. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere in here. Yes, it's going to be a bit nervy to start with, but an early goal will settle the nerves, and I fully expect you to get the job done and see Newcastle back where you belong in the Champions League next season. It's been a strange old weekend, hasn't it? Of course, with Sunderland, of course, getting back into the Premier League following their playoff success yesterday. I have to say the videos and the celebrations from that have been pretty amazing to see. But it's going to be great to have the derbies back next season. As much as I guess a lot of you guys won't have wanted to see that result yesterday, to see the Timeware derby back, Sunderland here, you at the Stadium of Light next season, it's going to be great to be involved in. What it's doing for me is it's doubling my workload. So I'm knackered just thinking about it. I'm ready for a holiday, and we've just been thrown Sunderland back in the Premier League, and it's going to be a carnage old year. But look, we're here for it. It'll be good, and it's great to see the North East thriving in such a way. I've just seen Eddie Howe arrive in the last 15 minutes or so here. He gets here around 4 hours before kick-off. He's one of the first ones in the stadium. He looked pretty cool, pretty composed, looking forward to today. My understanding is that Alexander Isak will be involved in some capacity today. He trained yesterday. And the hope is that he will do a check on him when he arrives, but I think the hope is that he will be able to take his place in the team and lead the line, which is of course great news, because I think Newcastle with Isak in the team is a completely different prospect to Isak not in the team. And obviously if he doesn't play, I touched on it in my video on Friday, who do you play centre forward? Do you play Callum Wilson, who is still working his way back from injury? It looks like it'll be his last game for the club. Would you play Gordon through the middle, who of course, he's done that a few times this season, but he didn't have his best game against Arsenal. He's against his old team Everton, and then it takes him away from the wing. Do you do that, or do you give Will Asula a start? I don't think he does that with Asula. I think he'd be more likely to play Anthony Gordon through the middle. But from what I'm hearing, and I don't want to say for definite because I've not got the teams yet, but from what I'm hearing, Alexander Isak will be involved today, and if he's involved, I think he'll probably start the game and see how he gets on, see how the groin holds up. But I think that would be a real boost for you guys as fans if you see his name on the team sheet. So looking forward to it today. What an opportunity, what a season it'll be for Newcastle. Winning the Carabao Cup, getting your hands on your first domestic trophy in 70 years, and qualifying for the Champions League in the same season, in the same few months. You could never have dreamt for that before the season started. Certainly not back in December when you lost that game to Brentford and you sat 12th in the table. So it's been some turnaround since then, and we all look forward to next season and the summer if you get the job done. Of course, it'd be disappointing if you're only in the Europa League, but look, at least it would be Europa League football. Financially, it would be great for the club because you need the finances of Champions League football next season, but it just shows how far you've come in the second half of the season, that qualifying for the Europa League would be seen as a disappointment. But look, one last push. I think you'll get the job done today. helicopter going above there. But that's what the noise is. And yeah, looking forward to it. So I will provide a post-match video later. I'm up in hospitality today, so hopefully I'm not too well oiled by the time I speak to you guys later. But I thought I'd just give you a bit of a flavour from inside St James's Park here, as 90 minutes to go until the season is over. One last push, one last win for Newcastle, and you're back booking your tickets for foreign trips again in the Champions League next season. Okay guys, leave your comments below. See you all soon. Cheers.